Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're doing a recap and review of Married at First Sight season 12 episode 6, Defending Your Wife, Chris and Paige. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash that like button as well, and also drop a comment down in the comment section below, because I do like to engage with my subscribers and viewers. So we start off by seeing Chris and Paige start off with the guys and with the girls. The guys were shown meeting up and doing some gambling together and, you know, playing some like craps or something. And then, of course, we also see with the women, they were together doing a mixology class. And Paige was noticeably quiet amongst the group, even though everybody else was having fun and mixing drinks. But based on her demeanor and her, you know, body language, of course, people was noticing that she was checked out and definitely noticeably quiet. And according to Clara, she was the one that really had said that and brought that to the attention. And it especially gets coming after, you know, receiving shocking news that Chris's ex-fiance Mercedes was pregnant. And Clara made a statement: if anybody was going to have a secret love child, it would be Chris. Comment down below on what your thoughts are on that statement. So we do see Chris now brings up the intimacy conversation. Eric shared how he and Virginia hadn't consummated their marriage yet, despite it being on the same page about their physical connection. And then, of course, we saw Jacob and also even Ryan said that they let their wives do the talking on that subject. And then it switched back to Paige telling the cameras how overwhelmed she felt and needed to be emotionally recharged for things to make a turnaround. We then see Virginia acknowledging in a confessional that she wasn't a big fan of Chris. And of course, Paige told the group, you know, I thought this was going to be a fairy tale, but I didn't expect to have so many challenges so soon. It'll hopefully only go up from here, sub-zero. And of course, everybody laughed and thought that, you know, was pretty funny. It couldn't get no worse than what it is, according to what she was saying. So then Chris said Paige was his #1 priority and that he's very invested in his marriage. But Eric told Chris to step up and man up. And Chris said he's doing just fine. And, you know, he did not take too kindly to that statement. They kept going back and forth, on and on about this situation. Eric is trying to, what seemingly looks like, give unwanted advice, and Chris was just not feeling it. Chris said he was doing just that and told the cameras he felt disrespected because not only had he been honest with Paige about the ex's pregnancy, but he thought he was being totally focused on his wife. And, you know, it seems that went on deaf ears. It seems like Eric was a little bit intoxicated, so I don't even know if he was really truly hearing Chris in that moment. Paige now questions whether Chris is really committed. So they begin to talk about finances. And in the conversation, you know, that Paige addressed with him, Chris revealed that he did not believe in having joint accounts. But Paige has, you know, of course, been expecting to share an account for bills. And, you know, he didn't see it that way. And she went on to say, I didn't get married on this show for your money. I wanted love. Money does not buy happiness. And sometimes she said that, you know, he feels like he's one-minded. It can come off a little selfish, and that's concerning and also very alarming to her. Let me ask you a question. This is a topic that comes up, look like every season, because it came up with Woody and Amani, it came up with Will and Jasmine, and now here it comes up again, splitting 50-50, because that's the other part of this conversation, which was about the money that came from the bridal gifts to split that 50-50. And so what are your thoughts on that? Joint accounts and also splitting the money 50-50, which way would you go? I know when I was originally married before he passed away, in his situation, we had separate accounts and we were okay with that. So it depends on the couple involved and the situation and what works out for them. But I want to know what your thoughts are. And so also the conversation came up about Paige's dog Bentley. And, she asked him if, he would let the dog sleep on the bed or go out of his way to take care of him. Of course, Paige's reaction was not what she expected, because if she's going to be a stepmom, she said that maybe he could at least help her out with the dog. And then, he gave his thoughts about the dog being on the bed. So I know I personally don't want a dog in my bed, but I mean, people do. Let me know your thoughts. So now we're at day 5 of the marriage, and Chris and Paige goes to an ATV event. And of course, Clara and Virginia are still noticing that Paige is a little, quiet. And this is where everything went south. So Chris told Virginia and Clara that no one can relate to their situation, and he did not appreciate their fake concern. And both Clara and Virginia argued that they meant well and were being sincere, but Chris, of course, said, "I don't owe you an explanation." Virginia advised Chris to go above and beyond in the situation with Paige, because they would, if it was them, they would have left the relationship if they were in Paige's shoes. Chris said he has gone above and beyond by telling Paige the truth about the baby, but Virginia thought that was ridiculous and that she deserved so much more. Now, Clara stopped talking at this point, but Virginia kept going, and Chris asked Virginia to stay out of his business. Virginia at that point called Chris arrogant, and Chris called Virginia a drunk, and to which Virginia replied, "Okay, I like to drink." Chris said if Virginia was going to throw shots, he's going to throw shots back. And this went on for back and forth for a little bit of time. I mean, at that point, it was pretty heated. And Clara is like, Virginia had poked the bear and dared to make an angry man angrier, is what she said. So at this point, she wanted out of this situation. It had gotten too far. We then see Eric comes over and, tried to end the conversation. And of course, Chris said he didn't appreciate Eric and Virginia comments about the marriage, like when Virginia had asked if Chris, is this your baby? But Virginia was insisting that, she was trying to give some advice, but he went off the rails. Now, it goes further. When Chris caught Clara and Virginia talking to Paige about the situation, it got worse even more. He was ready to explode on somebody that he said. Eric begged Chris to calm down, but Chris said he didn't feel comfortable talking about his marriage with strangers. So it was a situation that, it was going back and forth, and it became worse. And of course, Chris was saying lives are living hell, because he said that they have been disrespectful all week. So now they're on the van or the bus ride back to the hotel, and Virginia told Chris that he was being disrespectful as F to her, which of course made Chris yell back, "I don't give a F about you." And Chris and Virginia started to scream over each other in the bus to the point where, it just went too far. And then, of course, Paige, holds Chris back and apologized to Eric and Virginia and begged them to just leave her husband alone. So now we're on day 6 of the marriage. 4 out of the 5 couples, minus Virginia and Eric, joined together for dinner. And everybody's dressed up nice. They're looking good. So I will say that much. And Paige thanked everyone for the support and for being open and honest. And Paige prayed, there could be some more reconciliation because she didn't want Chris and herself to always be a source of drama. And Chris told the group that prayer had helped him calm down as well. And I think he said that he originally reached out to his family, but they told him, you're married now. So Paige was that one that did that. Chris apologized to everyone for his harsh reaction and told Paige also in front of the group that he owed everything to her and she had behaved like a woman of God, but of course, unlike himself, he did not. And that he's going to work toward being a better spouse to her because, he's been emotionally distant to his wife. And he made that in front of everybody. Unfortunately, Eric and Virginia wasn't there to hear that. And it seems like, of course, Paige was definitely pleased by what Chris had to say to the group and also what, he said to her. However, Jacob, on the other hand, he said he didn't really give a crap, but had decided to give Chris the benefit of the doubt. And, that I thought that scene was so hilarious. He's like, I really don't care what's going on. I'm just here for the food. That's what it looks like. But he also apologized to Ryan for disrespecting his wife. And I'm glad that he did that and made some concession and apology to Clara as well. And, that he apologized for disrespecting them and said he simply felt attacked by the girls. So Virginia and Eric finally arrived to the dinner date late. And Virginia asked Paige to take a shot with her. And she was like, no, I'm good. Which was clearly taking a stab at Chris. And everybody knew that as well. And Eric immediately decided to establish some boundaries with Chris. I can't allow you to ever talk to her like that again, Eric said. And from now on, we need to just go our separate ways or whatever you want to do. And then before he could say that, Ryan explained to Eric that Chris just apologized for his behavior. And so the men were seemingly trying to say the same thing. And Eric didn't end it there. Eric said, he was borderline scaring people. And Chris reminded Eric how he had asked the couple to respect his privacy. And then Virginia made inappropriate jokes at his expense in front of the whole group. And Chris say, today I was fed up and tired of the BS. And Eric and Virginia decided to get up and leave the table, but Chris insisted he wasn't finished talking yet. The bickering continued. Vincent physically pushed his buddy Chris out of the room so things wouldn't get any worse. And of course, Eric was like, this is uneffing believable, waving goodbye to everyone as he and Virginia left the dinner. It was a crazy scene. And, of course, Clara commented that Eric and Virginia were past the point of being civil with Chris and vice versa. It was a crazy situation, and I don't even know if anybody got to eat because everybody just got up. However, Virginia did say that Eric did a great job handling the situation and her father and brothers would have acted the same way. But, she definitely, liked the fact of how this was handled. It was a crazy situation. Paige also felt Eric and Virginia didn't give Chris the chance to apologize. And Brianna had Paige's back after the explosive argument. And Paige said it was bold of Chris to admit that he hadn't been acting like a man of God. And she was seemingly proud of him and understood why he was being defensive. And, Brianna was like, this is nobody else's business. So Chris revealed he lost all respect and that he had crossed the boundary line. So we're at the end of the honeymoon, and Paige is struggling trying to find out where Chris stood mentally and emotionally. So Paige asked Chris where he saw his relationship with his ex going, and Chris said he was figuring that stuff out day by day. Paige asked if Chris meant to get back with his ex because they originally had blocked each other, but now that she's supposedly pregnant, they didn't know how to proceed, and he had a problem with, the child being raised separate from him and by another man. And you know, the comments came up that Chris said that he talked about how co-parenting would look like, the idea of getting back together, because he said, I still love her. But he said loving somebody doesn't mean you should be with them, and that's what he's been processing. I'm not sure, but I know I don't want another kid again. I mean, another man raising my kid. And Paige said she didn't know where that left him. She left the room. She was upset. You can tell by, you know, her facial reaction, you know, about everything that she heard. And of course, she, again, you know, got up. She was angry. She left the room. She said it felt like a slap in her face, since Paige had been insisted by him that she was going to be his #1 priority going forward, even before his child on the way. And Paige didn't know what she was working and fighting for, because she can't be with someone who's telling, you know, the mother of their child they want to be with them while they're married, and that's not okay. It's not. And Paige says she's okay with him having a child, but he was ignoring the covenant that they entered into together. Paige demanded clarity at this point. So she came back to the room and, you know, demanded this clarity from Chris. But Chris said he never said for sure he wanted to get back together with his ex. He just said that these were conversations that was had with his ex, and he wasn't sure about what he wanted to do. Paige told him that, you know, of course she cared about him, but she wanted to be treated like a wife, which would require changes on Chris's end. And Chris said he wanted to work through this stuff with Paige because he had become attracted to her both physically and spiritually, and could envision himself lasting beyond the 7 weeks. And of course, when she heard that, you know, it put her mind at ease at this point. And, you know, she said that, you know, she believed in fighting for love, and that she believed in the possibility for love. And she's praying that Chris is her person for the rest of her life. She believes in us, and this could potentially be a beautiful story for the both of us. So, you know, no matter with all of the infighting that happened today, and of course the fan base is also speaking on everything we've seen from the past 5 episodes, this is where Paige's choice is at this point. Because at the end of the day, the decision lies with her. And right now, she's choosing to work through her marriage with Chris. So we would have to just pretty much wait and see how this journey with the two of them is going to continue. So until next week. All right, so we have to do our post notification shout out. If you want to be shouted out, drop a comment down below. I will see you, find you, and shout you out. All right, so for the first shout out is for But That's None of My Business. Thank you for the review response. I really appreciate it. The next one is June Donaldson. Thank you as well for engaging in the channel. I really appreciate this as well. And last but not least, Pat Savage. Thank you as well. I'm glad you appreciated the breakdown in this review. So until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.